Today on VIP TV, it's the eve of the big fight when unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua defends against Oleksandr Usyk at Tottenham's football ground, whatever it's called now. And with us today, one of the finest judges in boxing, a former world cruiserweight champion himself, like Usyk, it's Enzo Maccarinelli. Enzo, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for asking, Steve.
Always good to speak to you, mate. You know your stuff. I get the up when these TV firms don't use you. I'm always batting for you.
I like to think I know my stuff.
You know your stuff. I tell you what, it's a fight that's got a lot of people excited, particularly fight week. People changing their minds. Before we go on to how you see the fight playing out, are you surprised that there seems to be more people than ever changing their mind during this fight week?
No, it's just Usyk is an extremely talented fighter. He's an extremely talented fighter. I think with Joshua coming in lean as well, I think the plan would be to try and outbox Usyk, which I think people are reading into the fact that Joshua can't outbox Usyk. So a lot of people are changing their minds left, right, and centre.
Yeah, yourself. How do you read the fight, and are you changing your mind at all?
I'm not saying I'm changing my mind. I've always picked Joshua. I think Joshua, he's just going to be too big at the end of the day. I always go on what I know, what I've seen, and when you look at the likes when Usyk fought Briedis, at times in our fight, Briedis bullied Usyk. It was a close fight. Joshua's got much more strength, much more power. Much more of a reach than Briedis. But on the other side of things, it wouldn't surprise me if Usyk can pull it off. I think he's that talented. I think he can negate some of Joshua's weapons, because I think it's all going to come down to speed. And when I say speed, obviously the footwork of Usyk, Joshua's got to get his jab. I don't think he got a fast enough jab to catch Usyk because Usyk's movement. But he's got to time that. You got to time that jab. If he can start timing that jab and he start offsetting Usyk's rhythm, it'll be an easier night. I don't think it'll be an easy night, but it'll be an easier night for him. With Usyk, I think with his movement, his plan, he's going to try and make Joshua fall short, maybe fall in, maybe lose balance, because that is what Usyk does. He gives you all them twitches, all them movements like a Lomachenko. He tires the mind out as well as the body. I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Joshua because he's too big. But what I can see him trying to do is trying to get Joshua to reach in. And when he reaches in, he's going to try and punish him every time.
Yeah. When Joshua beat Andy Ruiz in the desert, he was very patient and he boxed a smart fight. I'm not saying it didn't seem like it come natural to him, the boxing in that fight, but he boxed a smart fight. And even though there was times you could see he was willing where he wanted to trade. Do you think he could try and box like that this weekend, but with 60, 70,000 people there, might just
he couldn't box like that again. He couldn't box like that against Usyk. And Andy Ruiz that night, he was shameful. And that's taking nothing away from Andy Joshua. The way he turned up, he had a 10-week training camp, and he came in 2 stone heavier than when he had 2 weeks notice. It was absolutely shameful. Joshua boxed well. He surprised me how well he boxed that night. But we've got to put into context the shape of Andy Ruiz and the ability that Andy Ruiz possessed that night. He has fast hands. He has good head movement. There was nothing on show that night. Maybe Joshua would have done the same to a fit Andy Ruiz, but we never know. But he did box well that night. He did surprise me. I didn't think he could box that well. But in Usyk, you've got a boy who's a 10 times better natural skill boxer than Andy Ruiz. He's probably the most naturally skilled boxer apart from Lomachenko on the planet.
Well, with everybody talking Anthony Joshua, if he wins, finally fighting Tyson Fury. When you're preparing for a fight like this, or at the weigh-in, at the fight, that on the day of the fight on Saturday, will he still have in his mind Fury at all?
No,
added pressure. Do you do that? I'm asking you as a fighter, even when you would have been having, coming up, you might have had a British champion in your mind or something. You know.
No. I was always a professional, and Josh was professional. You got a professional team around him as well. Rob McCracken, and you're not going to let them thoughts come into play. Obviously, with the Fury fight, that's the fight we all want to see. But Fury got to take care of business himself, and I think in Usyk there is a natural threat. I think that threat. Joshua did look calm at the press conference today, but I think that threat will keep him sharp and keep him focused. Like you said, it could be a chance, but I don't think it will be. I think he's too much of a professional. He got too much of a professional team around him, and I think he's going to concentrate on Usyk, and that's it.
And also, we still think, some of us still think, maybe it's my age because I'm old, I still think of Anthony Joshua as a young man. It's more than 9 years ago since he won that Olympic gold medal. So he's getting towards the veteran stage, 10 years as a pro and what have you, isn't he?
Yeah, it's mad. But when you think about it, 9 years ago or whatever years ago it was, Usyk won that title, won the Olympic gold an hour before.
That's right.
Same ring. So it's mad the way their careers have panned out. It's mad how they've come together at this time. And we have the undisputed Cruiserweight champion stepping up in weight. He's had 2 fights. A lot of people are going on his 2 fights. Don't give him a chance against Joshua because they sort of seemed he struggled. I don't think he did. I don't think he got out of second gear in either of them. I think he got a lot more in the tank. And you look at the Chisora fight. With the Chisora fight, Chisora made things awkward. He made things hard because he used his weight, he used his strength, and he come marauding forward. That's a hard night for anyone to look good against. Usyk hurt Chisora in that fight. Not many do. But like I said, Chisora come in, he marauded forward, 18.5 stone, come rushing at him. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to look good against that type of style and that type of technique. And that's what I've heard a lot of people going on. Oh, Chisora done this, Chisora done that. Joshua doesn't do that. Joshua is technically better. Joshua likes space. Joshua likes time. So I'm not going to read too much into that. All I say is we've got an elite cruiserweight stepping up to fight an elite heavyweight. This is where we'll find out if Usyk is an elite heavyweight as well.
I'll tell you what, Chisora, I think he's lost 10 times. And maybe apart from Fury in their 2 fights, he's given everybody a hard night. Even when he got knocked out by David Haye in the 5th round, it was Haye who was one who was looking to fade before he delivered that shot. I think you might have been working it with me for Box Nation. I'm not sure.
No, I weren't. I was working for the Fury fight when it showed you how good Fury was that night. Because he just took him to school. He boxed his ears off. But like you said, Derek Chisora gives everyone a fight. And with the Usyk fight, he just marauded forward. That's what he does. And you're not going to look great. You're not going to look technically great against someone like a Derek Chisora. But he done the job. He got it done. And he done it just as comfortable as many I've seen.
Okay, so you tentatively seem to be going for Joshua. So how do you think he wins on Saturday then?
I don't think he stops Usyk. I think he's on points.
Yes,
I think whereas Usyk likes to tire people out, I can see it happening the other way. I think Joshua will use his strength, use that extra strength, and when they do come close, he'll clench, he'll lean on, and that will take it out of a man 2 stone like than the new. So round 8 or 9, I see Usyk starting to fade and Joshua starting to pull away. But again, wouldn't shock me if Usyk can pull it off. I do think he's that good.
Yeah. Just one final question before we go. What's the latest with you? And are you still looking at boxing again? I mean, the last time we spoke, you started sparring. Where are you right now, Enzo?
To be honest, Steve, I'm suffering with a bit of long COVID. I've got another problem, which I don't really want to discuss for a minute. And it seems to me that every time I get in some sort of shape where I can fight, every time I can get in some sort of, and I think to myself, oh, you're ready. You can fight just as good as you was 10 years ago. Something seems to happen to me and just sets me back. So, maybe it's the gods up there telling me not to bother. And if I look at my career, it's been littered with performances where I've stepped into the ring less than 50%. you know, one occasion where I stepped in less than 20%.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, and I know you don't make excuses for it, but it was the David A. fight. We know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I've never said I could beat him on a different night. I would have had a much better chance, but that night was the only night I've ever gone into the ring knowing I'd lose. I was that bad. You know how bad I was, but no one made me fight. I went through that. I think if Frank knew, Frank would have pulled me out.
He would have done, yeah.
100%, he would have pulled me out, but I went through with it. But what I'm saying is that at my age now, unless I'm 100% or at least 95%, I'm not going to bother. I'd love to, but what I got going on at the moment, I want to just sort that out first.
All right, then. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been brilliant catching up with you, mate, and we'll have a chat on the phone over the next couple of days and chew the fat over this fight again.
No problem, Steve. Nice to talk to you, mate.
And you, mate. Thank you.
For all boxing info, news, and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.